Welcome to the second episode of Ross's Game Dungeon. If you're hearing this, that means I'm still alive. Last time I talked about a good game. Today I'm talking about an interesting game. LucasArts style sparkle? Nyet III, Revenge of the Mutant Stones. Now, despite the word Nyet being Russian, this is actually a German game. This is a Tetris game, but like the title implies, this game is a mutant. This game does a lot of things no other Tetris game does. If you think you're a Tetris master and just charge in, you're gonna die. More on that later. Now you might be wondering why I'm starting on Nyet III and not Nyet I or II. Well, sometimes in games, the third one in a series can take a big departure. Duke Nukem 3D, Grand Theft Auto 3, Doom 3. These are all games that had big jumps in technology that made them radically different from their predecessors. Well, Nyet III is one of those games. So I'll leave it to your imagination for now what Nyet 1 and 2 look like. Oh, and hey, what do you think of this intro? I like the jury-rigged projector stand in particular. Okay, I promised nudity in the last episode and I meant it. Now, this isn't full frontal nudity, so I know some of you are feeling cheated right now, but what can I say? All the other Tetris games with more nudity or hardcore sex scenes have already been discussed to death. There's nothing I can add to them that hasn't already been said. Besides, you get to watch a Peeping Tom's vacation photos mixed in with your credits. I'd say that's off to a pretty good start for a Tetris game. At least for 1993. This is a long intro though. It actually reminds me of how modern day games will sometimes have 10 movie clips before you can get to the actual menu. Sometimes they make them unskippable unless you hack the startup files. That happens because some producer worth millions who may not even play games wants to make sure his company's name is plastered in everyone's face forever. I don't think that's the case for the 7 people involved here though. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead here. Here's the game. The way this game works is you have many levels that you can choose from, where each one is its own special Tetris challenge. I'm at the first stage here, but once I beat all the levels you see on the screen, I'll progress to the next stage, which has another full screen of levels for me to tackle. Rumor has it that there are 7 stages in all, so that's 126 levels plus the bonuses. The music and graphics are generally pleasing and very cheerful. The beginning levels are very easy. It's all to make this game very accessible and friendly and try to get people to start playing. After you beat a level, you earn a small amount of money which you can use later at the store to give you special power-ups. You also get a score, but who cares? Now what really sets this game apart is almost all the levels are sort of like mini puzzles that the game gives you hints on at the beginning. Like look at this level. New friends are appearing. What does that mean? Let's find out! Half the game is filled with these fortune cookie style hints to guide you. Okay, so far so good, just regular Tetris. Ah, see, there, those are your new friends. That's the tricky thing about this game. Every stage is different and there's some catch to all of them. Sometimes you can figure it out from the description, other times you have no idea. May I introduce the electric barrier? What the hell does that mean? Okay, again, normal Tetris. Whoa, okay, now you see what the catch is. Every level is like this. It keeps you on your toes. There's all kinds of tricks in this game. You have some with only right angles, some with indestructible blocks, some that switch which block you're going to get. The list goes on. The original Tetris, despite being fun, is still at its core just a death march where the pace gets faster and faster. So this is a great contrast. Mini challenges that you can beat and progress through. You earn money from the challenges that you can use to make the levels easier. Wow, this sounds great, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's insidious, is what it is. Between the upbeat music, bright graphics, easy challenges, fun riddles, you're going to miss the fact that this game wants to kill you. Now you're probably saying, well, of course you can die, Ross. It's a video game. You don't understand. Because you're probably thinking there are lots of harder games out there where you can die a lot and that are really unfair. Ghouls and Ghosts, Battletoads, I Wanna Be the Guy, and so on. This is much more quietly sinister than those. This game doesn't want to just kill you. It wants to watch you squirm and suffer first. Then, when it finally does kill you, it doesn't want to kill your player, it wants to kill you. Some of you are probably confused. Allow me to demonstrate. Here's some footage from one of the easier levels where I made a mistake. I had to get one line, but it messed up as this compressor was raising from the ground to crush me to death. Like something out of a Saw movie. Oh no, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Do you see this? What you're looking at now isn't a mistake in editing. When you die once in this game, the whole game quits. You don't lose a life, you don't go back to the level select, the whole game quits. I'm sure the programmers would have taken this a step farther if they thought they could get away with it without being sued. Like force your computer to shut down, or start deleting random data. Or hey, better yet, find a way to send electric shocks into your body through your keyboard. I mean, holy crap! How many games do something like this? And if you get kicked out of the game, you get to go through that long intro all over again every single time. You can speed it up some, but the point is one death in this game has big consequences. Come on. I'm tapping the buttons right now. It doesn't matter. There. God. Now you actually can avoid this if you hit escape just before you die. Then you'll only go back to the main menu. It makes me feel like a fighter pilot hitting the emergency eject before my plane crashes into the ground. Even then, you'll be seeing this animation a lot to load your game. It looks awesome the first time. Not so awesome the 50th time. Do you remember seeing earlier the option to save your game? Well, guess what? You have to pay to do that, and you have to pay a lot. I mean, you're lucky to be earning more than $10 per level this game. Most of the time, you don't even get that much. And one save is $80. That's a lot of levels on average before you can save. And these levels are going to be trying to kill you. The levels on this first table are a joke. They're just there to give you a false sense of security, along with the whole bright and happy vibe this game exudes. They're designed to lower your defenses, so you build your confidence, then you get trapped, then they move in so they can murder you. No. No. No, no, no. No. Did you know that a lot of serial killers charm their way into their victims' homes? They'll smooth talk them and the victims let them in willingly? Well, Nyet III is the Ted Bundy of Tetris games. And if you think you'll be alright if you just save your game periodically, think again. Remember earlier when I said you can buy items at the store to help you out and make the game easier? Well, I was sort of lying. These items don't make your game easier. The farther in you get, you literally start needing them just to beat the levels. They can blow up the metal blocks, give you a long block when you need it. They are your salvation, but they come at a cost. You don't have nearly enough money to just buy the power-up you need and pass the level each time. Oh no. You have to be a miser and ration out your money, making it stretch as far as you possibly can. Look at this stage. I can't see anything and I need to make 4 lines not knowing what's below me. That's death. But if I use a special item, now I can breeze through it, no problem. But there is a problem. The problem is that that's $50 I just blew, and I'm gonna need a lot more than that if I hope to survive this later on. By spending $50 now, I'm gonna run out of cash and get myself killed later. That feels a little like my own life, actually. So I can't play this game casually. Now that I know what I'm up against, I need to go back and load my game and play this level blind so I can hold on to that precious $50 for later. Once you get to the 3rd or 4th stage, you gradually start realizing this isn't so much a fun puzzle game as it is a survival horror game. In the later levels, there's always a certain terror entering a level where the hint is too cryptic to understand. You don't always know what's coming, but it's never good. So the more you save, the more you're damning yourself on later levels when you need more money, and you don't have it because you were playing this game to have fun. That'll teach you. So what this does is create this feverish mentality where you try to push yourself as far as you possibly can in between the saves, knowing full well that if you die, you lose everything. It makes this game so high stakes. I do not recommend playing this game if you have a heart condition. Oh no, okay. Oh god, oh god, oh no, 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 no! Oh. Oh. Let's talk about the music. The music in here is generally pretty good. However, they cheat a lot. By that, I mean the majority of the tracks in this game are just synth remixes of classical music. If you're a classical music fan, you might find this game a neat little quiz to see how many pieces you recognize. I recognize this track. I actually only knew this as the Alfred Hitchcock Presents theme, but it's a classical piece. Funeral March for a Marionette. That's actually a pretty metal name for classical music. So while this game cheats by using classical music, its picks are pretty good. If I ever hear yakety sax one more time, I'm going to kill somebody. It does have a little bit of original music though. The slideshow intro music is great. I encourage anyone inclined to do a remix of it. I'll listen to it. Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room. What is the deal with this guy? My first thought was that he was sort of your guide in all this, but now that I've explained the lurking evil contained within this game, I don't know anymore. I mean, look at him. He has this sort of Freudian look to him, so that's kind of cool, but something is off here. Look at his clothes. He dresses like a 50-year-old colorblind fat woman. What's going on here? No socks. Is he naked under that coat? Has he killed before? His role here is really unclear. He records your name, he's the middleman for buying your life-saving gear, but then later on he'll explicitly make bets against you at some points in the game. Maybe he's just meant to be like a tough coach or trainer to make you a better and more paranoid Tetris player? But I don't know, I'm just getting this sinister vibe here. If you're a big guy, he'd be perfect for doing cosplay, but nobody would know who the hell you are except me. Now it's worth mentioning I have not actually beaten this game. Back in the day, I only played the shareware copy, but now that the full version is free, I better understand where this heart of darkness of a game is headed. I made it to stage 5 out of 7. I think I could beat this game if I stayed at it, but I really hit the enjoyment threshold once I hit this stage. Like if I was in prison and somehow had access to this game, I would absolutely keep playing it. I mean, what the hell else would I do? Plus, I'm curious how it ends. The problem is that I started to understand all too well what I was going to have to do in order to beat this game. These later levels are less about Tetris and more about intense resource management and planning. Plus, having to really maximize what little money you have as efficiently as possible hit a little too close to home for me. Anyway, if anyone watching this wants to continue where I left off, I am including a link to my saved games along with a link to the game itself in the description. One thing that is pretty rad about this is that if you try to beat this game, you are headed into uncharted territory. I'm serious. I looked online. I cannot find any mention or playthrough or whatever for the ending of this game. If anyone has beaten this game, they're not talking. For all we know, whoever beats this game will be the first person in history to do so. Now, odds are somebody has beaten it before, but this game came out 20 years ago. So if anyone beat it, they could be dead by now. For me, that's some of the beauty of obscure games. You're seeing things few other people have. I mean, how many modern games can you say where no one has seen the ending? Hell, nowadays companies try to stop people from posting the ending up online before the game is even released. Not here. If you beat this game, you will be the Indiana Jones of the Tetris world. Now, what the ending will actually be like is kind of a crapshoot, because honestly, PC games are notorious for having really lame endings, even in otherwise good games. Tyrion's ending is okay, but for a game like this, anything could happen. Some of the best game endings I've ever seen have been from puzzle games. I mean, you all saw that intro. For all we know, the ending is the weird guy sailing off on a Tetris-shaped yacht full of topless women while he's showered in all the money that you gave him for supplies. We don't know. If anyone does beat it, contact me. Maybe I'll have a short follow-up episode. Now, for those of you who are brave enough to try to beat this game, I can tell you exactly how to beat this game, or at least maximize your chances of doing so. You'll then also understand why I'm not going to. You might want to get a pen and paper out for this part. Okay, deep breath. First off, save your game at the beginning of every stage. Anything new can kill you, and you should assume it will. Next, go through each level one by one and write down what the gimmick is. Invisible blocks, snakes, hell, whatever. You're going to die over and over while doing this. Then you need to reload your save game one by one by one. Then you can maybe buy some items you can use to exit the level so you can preview maybe 3 per life, but you shouldn't save your games with those in your inventory as you'll need money for the real threats. While you're writing down what the gimmick is, also write down how hard the level is. Can you beat this level without items? If not, what are the cheapest items you need in order to beat this level? You should also have a chart of exactly how much this level is going to cost you. If it doesn't add up, you'll need to figure out ways to suck it up and beat more levels without items. For levels that have diamonds, do a cost-benefit analysis of what items you need to get to the diamonds versus how much you can get back in return. They may not be worth it. Don't accept any of the bets after the first 3, except for the endurance one, so just lose money. After you figured out which are the hardest levels, do a few of them first. That way if you screw up, you don't set yourself back too far. Make a list of exactly what order you'll attempt the levels in so you can maximize your chances of success. God, that is a hard phrase to say fast. To each save point, try and push as many levels forward as you can before your save. At levels 4 and up, you need to save at least halfway through the stage, probably even more. If you have a background in accounting or statistical probability, that will help. So for anyone who missed that, the short version is you'll probably need to load your game at least 18 times before you start trying to actually beat the stage. It's a pure grind, the prep work is not fun, but the difficulty level is so high, this is the only way to do it. And to anyone who thinks that's just because I'm not skilled enough, that's like saying you have more skill at Russian roulette. Like you know just how many times to spin the gun chamber before pointing it at your head. Oh geez, okay. Okay, long block, yes. Okay, get in there. Okay, one more line, I can do this. Okay, oh geez. Oh hell. Okay, long block. Okay, long block. There, turn. No, not there! Okay, I'm ready to wrap this up. So what have we learned here today? That surprise nudity is a good way to get someone's attention, and that evil is everywhere, apparently. Okay, that's the end, unless somebody beats this. Thanks for watching. And if you're sick of squares, stay tuned for the next episode, which will have triangles and drownings. Welcome to the surprise review of Nyet II. Well, to start things off, I can't read German.